This is UFC Paris, Imavov versus Borralhofull, full card predictions. Let's just get straight into it. Johnny Walker broke my main event streak I had going on. It was only like 2 main events, but still, I was a bit salty about that. But let's just get straight into it. So, Nasruddin Imavov versus Caio Borralho. I'm going with Nasruddin Imavov because I do just think he's underrated in the division. I think he's got great game plans shown against Adesanya. I think he also has some questionable moments, but then I'm looking at the records and I'm like, let's go over this. Who has Caio Borralho beat? Jared Cannonier and Paul Craig, and I guess you could put Abbas Nurmagomedov, right? You could say Michelle Olenche, I can't even say that guy's name, but that guy. He's beat, like, let's be honest, if we're talking about elite guys, he's not fought anyone elite. It is middleweight, so no one's elite, but, like, for a middleweight elite, he's fought no one elite, right? But at least Nasruddin Imavov, he's fought, like, fucking, like, let's go through Nasruddin Imavov's record, right? Because then we're going to compare who they've beaten, right? So, in his last fucking 4 fights, he's beaten Israel Adesanya, Brendan Allen, Jared Cannonier, Roman Dolidze. He was beating Chris Curtis's ass. Lost to Sean Strickland. Buckley, he beat Buckley, that's actually, well, before the Usman fight was pretty impressive. And then Edmund Shabazian, and then before all this is just randoms. But, like, those names are way better than anyone Caio Borralho's fought. And it's like, we're glazing him for fighting Jared Cannonier in a fight where he almost got finished. And I'm sorry, if Jared Cannonier can land on you with his obvious wide straight shots, I think Nasruddin Imavov is gonna fucking hit you from anywhere. They've got the same reach, but Nasruddin Imavov has the reach advantage. That is not right. They do not have the same size legs. That is not no, they don't. That is wrong. Nasruddin Imavov literally has, like, the longest legs in middleweight, I swear down. He's got the legs like fucking... You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that fucking Monsters Inc. character, the green one. I don't watch Disney films, so forgive me for not understanding that. But I'm going to go with Nasruddin Imavov. I think it's a close fight. Like I said, there's nothing you can really pick out and be like, oh, well, Caio Borralho's boxing's really good, but so is Imavov's. You know what I mean? And then it could be like, oh, well, Imavov's got pretty decent wrestling, well, so's Borralho. Borralho just beat Brendan Allen in a fucking wrestling match, grappling match. So there's nothing you can really say on either side that, like, stands out for either of them. They're both good everywhere. I think it's going to be a very close decision, and I think they're going to give it to Imavov as well. It's also in France, so they're going to already have that edge towards Imavov because, they're on. Unless this was in UK, then you could choose the person based off of skill. Because UK does not care about its fighters. Split decision? There's no split decisions for us. We just get a full unanimous 30-27 in favour of a guy who we don't even know. But yeah. On to the co-main event. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Mauricio Huffy. I'm going to be honest, this is just a layup. This is like a lock of the card. I'm going to go with Rufi via KO. Second round. I'm going to go second round. Now, if I was a really good video editor, I would mute that, but I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to go with Mauricio Huffy second round KO. Benoit Saint-Denis has 0 defense, right? And it's like, you know how to beat him. He's a pressure wrestler. There's a lot of people like this in the sport, right? But out of all of them, Benoit Saint-Denis is the fucking worst one because he just doesn't have any sort of defense in the slightest. It's come forward with big fucking hooks. Huffy's just going to be out there with his knockoff McGregor style and just tipping him on the chin, chipping him on the chin, and then, oh, mate, he's out cold. I don't know, but then I'm looking at it again, and I'm like, well, Benoit Saint-Denis with a staph infection was doing better than Makhachev in the grappling. Can we just think about that for a second? I know. So it's like if he gets him down, he might get the upset here. But as well, we haven't seen much of Hoofy, and I do think he's slightly overrated. Like these fighting nerd guys, they're all super overrated, but Hoofy is one of the better ones. I'd say Gene Silver, Hoofy, then Caio Borralhofull, then Prates. I'm not I do like Prates, but I don't think it's as good as people sort of make out. But that's how I'd rank the fighting nerds. They're good, but they're not that good, you know. But yeah, Brent Massantini, even with the Kyle Prepelec fight, he showed zero improvement in the slightest. Same old fucking Benoit Saint-Denis. Absolutely nothing. No improvement in the slightest. No defensive improvement. Literally just took him down and submitted him in the second round, I think it was. And even there, he was getting hit with good shots. Who feels just going to find the knockout? We all know he is. Let's just be honest. Let's just move on. We know how this fight's going if you know the sport. Let's go. Right. Orky versus Mason Jones. Now, I was going to try and be different and choose Mason Jones. But I could try and be different and choose Mason Jones, but now that I've just seen that they're both 5'10", and actually the reach advantage goes to Mason Jones, I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna go with Orky purely off because I thought he was on a good tear at the moment before, like just after getting like who was he submitted by? I know the guy's name because he fought recently. Chris Duncan, that was his name. Chris Duncan, I know he fought Chris Duncan and he got submitted by via guillotine. I can't really remember how that fight was going because it wasn't the third round. He was probably piecing him up. It's Chris Duncan. He just pulls out a win every time. Like, he's not the best anywhere, but he just wins. So it's like fair enough. But with Orky, I legitimately think that he was on a tear after that loss, and then yeah. Hang on, I need to look back at his record, because I think I'm mistaking him with someone else. Hang on. Because, like, this is the thing about doing these prediction videos. You do so much research, and then you forget about it. So, Orky. Oh, no. I'm mistaking Orky with somebody else. He's not on the tear at all, because you've only just got a win over Michael as well. Yeah, and his only loss is to Chris Duncan. But then I'm looking at Mason Jones, and I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's one of those fights. Like, you beat Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy Stevens is ass. He's just his ass. But then I'm like, he beat David Onama in 2021. That's impressive to me. But then he beat, then he lost to Mike Davis. That's not impressive to me at all. This is what I mean, man. This is what I mean. It's another one of them close fights. Who's the underdog? This is how we do these underdog fights. No one's an underdog. I'm gonna assume Mason Jones is the underdog, and I'm gonna go with Mason Jones. I thought Orky was somebody else, and I've just made myself look like a ripe melon. But yeah, Orky is not the guy I thought he was. Let's just put it that way. Mason Jones. I've got Mason Jones via decision. Right, moving on. Bukowskis. I said that wrong. Versus Paul Craig. I'm going with Bukowskis because I'm going to say it this way. Paul Craig is the most... He's like the most 2010 fighter ever. It's jiu-jitsu, nothing else. Striking's shit. Striking is god-awful. But Bukowskis, I'm saying it wrong every time. He trains with Aspinall. I feel like if you're not completely garbage, you should be able to beat this guy. And as well as that, it's just pretty simple. Like, he's going to tap leg kicks at range. He's going to avoid the grappling at all costs. He's going to defend the takedown. He's going to get up. He's going to fucking reverse the position. Get off the fence. Continue with his kicking at range, and yeah, you'll get the decision win. It's not hard. It's not hard. Just don't go in his guard. It's that simple. It's that simple. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Bukowskis, and I think this is a pretty easy win for him. I think he's going to defend the takedowns and tap leg kicks at range, like I've already said. Moving on, Fiese Ziam versus Fernandez. Right, I thought Fernandez was fighting somebody else because Fiese Ziam pulled out, but apparently not. But Fernandez, although like I don't know how good he really is. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how good he is because he knocked out Muhammad Yahya. Muhammad Yahya is shit. Guram Good, let's say, is shit as well, right? It's like you beat them two, and then the one half semi decent guy you lost to with wrestling and holding you against the fence. Ziam's better everywhere, man. And I know he's got like devastating leg kicks. He trained at Jose Aldo, if you don't know. Nah, man, nah. I don't think he wins this one. I think this is also big disrespect for Ziam. He should be fighting fucking lightweight. Get him against Chandler. Like, Chandler's on a free fight skid. Ziam's on like a fucking he's tear through the division. Ziam should be fighting for a ranking spot. Like, legitimately. And if he beats Chandler, I don't know, put him at 13 or whatever. I don't know what Chandler is. You know, he shouldn't be fighting this, but I've got Fiese Ziam. I think Fernandez's style is very beatable, but we also don't know if he is because his style is so like he's fought people who are shit, so it all makes him look better than what he actually is. So if he fights someone who's half decent, like if he has Ziam, then we'll actually see his level. And yeah, I'm choosing Ziam. I've always been a Ziam Glazer, so yeah. Moving on to the next fight, which is Patrici Pitbull versus some random guy I don't know the name of. Well, I guess I'll have to go with Pitbull. I thought he lost his previous fight against Ige, but it was so shit, he deserves to lose. But if this guy has any sort of understanding of fighting, he should literally just use volume against his one strike per minute, and then he'll win. But yeah, I'm going to go Pitbull. The judges are biased towards him. It's like the UFC say, you, judge, we need you to score this fight towards Pitbull, because we've put a lot of fucking work into him, even though he's garbage. But yeah, I'm going with Pitbull. I ain't explaining this. I don't even know who this guy is. I'll be honest. I ain't looking at fucking regional guys. I can't be bothered anymore. On the prelims, Umar Sy. That was the guy I mistaken him with. Umar Sy. Where's this guy's fucking record to remind me of who he's beaten in the last couple of fucking days? Yeah, Umar Sy fought Alonzo Menifield. I know exactly who he is now. Right. He disappointed us all with his last performance, I'm not going to lie. Right. And now he's fighting Benson Ribeiro, who's... Let's just put it this way, right? Roids. That's the first thing that comes to mind, is roids. Right? Umar Sy is... He is good, but that last performance was really shit. They kind of just slugged it out, and it was awful. Really bad. So I'm going to go with Umar Sy again. But I think he needed that loss to sort of remind him. And that's his only loss in his career. He was undefeated before that. So I'm going to go Umar Sy. He'll probably learn from that loss, because that was an awful fight from him. But yeah, moving on to the next fight, which is Reese McKee versus some absolute random. Again, I'm going to go Reese McKee because I ain't doing research on these random guys on the regional scene that you can't find tape of. But yeah, Reese McKee, you fought Hamzat Chimaev. That's good experience points. You should be able to beat him. Right. Moving on. Martian Tybora. Again, we've saw so many random heavyweights come in and fight a ranked guy and lose. So I'm choosing Martian Tybora. And as well, Martian Tybora is very underrated in the division. Very underrated in the division. So yeah. Moving on, Andreas Gustafsson versus this is a watch for the centuries. Will we see? I don't know. a Dagestani get absolutely Dagestanied by some Swedish dude, or are we going to see, typical for Kretinov robbery decision? I'm going with Andreas Gustafsson. If you don't know,
Robbery is the crime of taking or attempting to take anything of value by force, threat of force, or use of fear.
Nice one, Siri. I didn't even ask you to speak. I don't even know how he popped up there. But anyway, back onto this. That really knocked me off guard there. That knocked my focus. Andreas Gustafsson. People talk about Marab's pressure and pace like they haven't watched an Andreas Gustafsson fight. Like he isn't clearly on something called EPO. He's clearly on EPO. Both of them are, but like with Andreas Gustafsson, it's just very obvious. He's a welterweight too. He's fighting for Kretinov, who hasn't lost in the UFC apparently. But Andreas Gustafsson is a style. He gets you against the fence. He fights like a complete retard. Elbows. He destroyed Chaos Williams the other week, a couple of weeks ago, and that was just sad to watch. And if you know anything about Andreas Gustafsson, my description for his tattoos would be Bryce Mitchell's favourite fighter. And that's all I'll say. If you want to know more about that, you Google that shit, yeah. But yeah, I've got Andreas Gustafsson out Dagestani in the Dagestani. Even if he's not Dagestani, bro, I'm calling him a Dagestani. And then on Twitter, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, go do that. Yeah, the amount of fun I'm gonna have Twitter when this guy loses is gonna be amazing. By the way, but yeah, Andreas Gustafsson's getting the win. I think decision. I think he's gonna cut open for Kretinov and do whatever he likes on the cage. He's like a fun version of Marab that actually likes to get damage. It's weird. But anyway, moving on. William Gomez versus... can they not find anyone on the roster in the slightest? Anyone on the roster? Like, there's guys on here that should be, like... Reese McKee's right at the bottom of welterweight, right? You've got heavyweight battle here. Like, that's heavyweight. Can you not find anyone else in the division for these guys to fight? I'm fighting William Gomez. I'm picking William Gomez. And I think he wins. Because he's actually fought in the UFC and I don't think he's that bad. And he's pretty decent, which is... I don't know anything about this guy to say anything about him. So I'm choosing William Gomez. Moving on. Sam Patterson versus Trey Waterson. Trey Waters even. I'm going to go Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson seems to he's came into his own now. He got a big knockout win over I think he was an undefeated guy, you know. And he did knock him out. And that was class. So, Sam Patterson. I'm choosing Sam Patterson. Yeah, and these two, 6'3", 6'5", that's wild. But yeah, I'm choosing Sam Patterson. Brad Tavares versus Robert... Is he even fought in the UFC? I don't think he's fought in UFC. Not anytime recently. But I'm going to go Brad Tavares. I've heard this guy's absolute shit. So I'll just go Brad Tavares, a veteran of the sport. And then... Sean O'Bannon almost lost to an Indian fighter, which we already know is not good at all. So I would go with Sam Hughes, but she's also garbage. So, but what I will say, Sean O'Bannon, she just wins. She is the Chris Duncan of the division. That's disrespectful to Chris Duncan. She is just the... Like, she's not good anywhere, but she just wins. And you've got to respect it, to be honest. So I'm gonna go with Sean O'Bannon via, I don't know, fucking decision or something. I don't know. She'll just pull out a win. I don't know. I don't care. I will be watching this. I'll be watching this fight onwards. But yeah, that's the video. Like, subscribe, and comment your predictions.